A man tried to chase away a monkey, but what the monkey taught him changed everything. Robert tapped his fingers impatiently on the mahogany desk, his gaze flitting between the glowing computer screen and the stack of files awaiting his attention. The clock on the wall ticked relentlessly, its rhythmic beat a constant reminder of deadlines looming and meetings pending. He was a successful businessman, his sharp mind and strategic acumen having propelled him to the top of his field. But the price of success was a relentless pressure, a constant feeling of being trapped in a gilded cage of his own making. The city, with its towering skyscrapers and bustling streets, was a symphony of noise and movement, a constant assault on his senses. The air was thick with exhaust fumes and the cacophony of car horns, sirens, and construction sounds. Robert longed for an escape, a respite from the relentless demands of his urban existence. He dreamed of tranquil landscapes, of the soothing sounds of nature, of a life unburdened by the pressures of deadlines and expectations. One evening, as he sat in his dimly lit apartment, his gaze falling on a travel brochure featuring a secluded cabin nestled amidst a lush forest, a decision crystallized within him. He would take a break, a sabbatical from the city's clamor, a chance to reconnect with himself and the natural world. He booked the cabin, packed his bags, and left the city behind, his heart filled with a mix of anticipation and trepidation. He drove for hours, the landscape gradually transforming from concrete and steel to rolling hills and verdant forests. As he approached the cabin, a sense of calm washed over him, the air fresh and crisp, the silence broken only by the chirping of birds and the rustling of leaves. He stepped out of his car, his lungs expanding with each breath, his senses awakening to the symphony of nature. The cabin was rustic but comfortable, its wooden walls exuding a warmth that contrasted with the sterile coldness of his city apartment. He unpacked his bags, settling into the unfamiliar surroundings, his mind gradually shedding the burdens of his urban existence. He spent the first few days exploring the surrounding wilderness, hiking through trails dappled with sunlight, his footsteps muffled by the soft earth. He rediscovered the simple joys of observing nature, the intricate patterns of leaves, the vibrant colors of wildflowers, the graceful flight of birds. One afternoon, as he sat on the porch, sipping a cup of freshly brewed coffee, his gaze fell on a movement in the trees. A monkey, its fur a rich auburn, its eyes bright and curious, swung from branch to branch, its acrobatic movements a testament to its agility and freedom. Robert, initially startled by the unexpected visitor, felt a flicker of amusement. The monkey, seemingly unfazed by his presence, continued its playful antics, its mischievous grin a challenge to Robert's serious demeanor. Little did Robert know that this encounter, this unexpected intrusion into his solitary retreat, would mark the beginning of a transformative journey, a journey that would challenge his perceptions, awaken his senses, and lead him to a deeper understanding of himself and the world around him. The monkey, whom Robert mentally christened Mischief for its impish demeanor, became a regular visitor to the cabin. At first, Robert found its presence amusing, a welcome distraction from his solitary contemplation. He would watch as Mischief swung from the trees, its acrobatic movements a source of endless fascination. However, Mischief's curiosity soon extended beyond mere observation. The monkey began venturing onto the porch, its nimble fingers exploring Robert's belongings, its inquisitive eyes examining every object with a mischievous glint. Robert, initially tolerant of the monkey's antics, found his patience wearing thin as Mischief began pilfering his food, unraveling his sweaters, and scattering his papers. He tried shooing the monkey away, but Mischief proved to be persistent, its agility and cunning exceeding Robert's attempts at deterrence. One morning, Robert awoke to find his breakfast missing, the remnants of his toast scattered across the porch, a trail of crumbs leading back into the woods. He grumbled under his breath, his initial amusement replaced by a growing frustration. "This has to stop," he muttered to himself, determined to reclaim his peaceful solitude. He devised a plan, setting traps and barricades, hoping to outsmart the mischievous monkey. But Mischief proved to be a worthy adversary. It bypassed Robert's traps with ease, its intelligence and problem-solving skills exceeding Robert's expectations. The monkey seemed to delight in the challenge, its mischievous grin widening with each successful evasion. Robert, his frustration mounting, found himself engaged in a battle of wits with the persistent primate. He tried everything he could think of, from loud noises to water sprays, but nothing seemed to deter Mischief's determined pursuit of his belongings. One afternoon, as Robert sat on the porch, attempting to read a book, Mischief swooped down from the trees, snatching his glasses right off his face. Robert, exasperated, chased after the monkey, his frustration reaching its peak. He followed Mischief through the woods, the monkey leading him on a merry chase, its laughter echoing through the trees. Robert, his city shoes sinking into the soft earth, his suit jacket snagged on branches, felt a growing sense of absurdity. He stopped, his breath coming in ragged gasps, his frustration giving way to a grudging admiration for the monkey's agility and resilience. He realized that his attempts to control the situation, to impose his will on the natural world, were futile. He decided to try a different approach, a strategy based on observation and understanding rather than confrontation. He sat down on a fallen log, his gaze following Mischief's movements, his mind open to the possibility of a different kind of interaction. As he watched the monkey swing through the trees, its movements graceful and effortless, a realization dawned on him. Mischief was not just a nuisance. It was a creature of remarkable intelligence and adaptability, a reflection of the wild spirit that he himself had sought to reconnect with. He decided to let go of his frustration, to embrace the unexpected challenge, to see where this unlikely encounter might lead him. He took a deep breath, a sense of curiosity replacing his annoyance, his heart open to the possibility of a unique connection with the mischievous monkey. Robert, his frustration replaced by a newfound curiosity, began observing Mischief with a keen eye. He watched as the monkey navigated the trees with effortless grace, its movements a symphony of agility and precision. He marveled at its intelligence, its ability to solve problems, its playful interactions with its surroundings. He noticed that Mischief was not alone. A troop of monkeys inhabited the surrounding forest, their calls and chatter filling the air with a lively symphony. Mischief, however, seemed to prefer Robert's company, often venturing close to the cabin, its inquisitive eyes studying his every move. One day, as Robert sat on the porch, sketching the landscape in his notebook, Mischief approached cautiously, its eyes fixed on the moving pencil. Robert, sensing the monkey's curiosity, held out the pencil, offering it to Mischief. The monkey, hesitant at first, reached out and gently took the pencil, its nimble fingers examining the unfamiliar object. It then proceeded to mimic Robert's movements, scribbling on the notebook with surprising dexterity. Robert, his heart filled with wonder, watched as Mischief created its own abstract art, the strokes bold and expressive. He realized that this creature, often dismissed as a mere pest, possessed a level of intelligence and creativity that challenged his preconceived notions about the animal world. He began leaving out small puzzles and games for Mischief, observing with delight as the monkey solved them with remarkable ingenuity. He introduced Mischief to simple tools, watching as the monkey learned to use them with surprising dexterity. Their interactions became a daily ritual, a playful exchange of curiosity and learning. Robert, his city-bred cynicism fading, found himself enchanted by Mischief's playful spirit and its unique perspective on the world. One afternoon, as Robert sat by the river, lost in contemplation, Mischief approached him, a small, brightly colored flower clutched in its hand. The monkey gently placed the flower in Robert's lap, its eyes filled with a surprising tenderness. Robert, touched by the gesture, felt a wave of warmth wash over him. He realized that this creature, once a source of annoyance, had become a companion, a friend, a reflection of the natural world's capacity for connection and kindness. He accepted the flower, its delicate petals a symbol of the unexpected bond that had formed between them. He looked into Mischief's eyes, a silent understanding passing between them, a connection that transcended the boundaries of language and species. In that moment, Robert knew that his journey into the wilderness had taken an unexpected turn. He had come seeking solitude, a respite from the pressures of his urban existence. But he had found something far more profound, a connection to the natural world, a friendship with a mischievous monkey, and a glimpse into a simpler, more harmonious way of life. As the days turned into weeks, Robert's bond with Mischief deepened. He found himself spending more and more time in the company of the monkey, their interactions a source of endless fascination and learning. Mischief, with its innate curiosity and playful spirit, became Robert's guide to the wonders of the forest. It led him to hidden waterfalls, secret groves of ancient trees, and crystal-clear streams teeming with life. Robert, his city-bred senses awakening to the nuances of the natural world, marveled at the intricate tapestry of life unfolding around him. He observed the symbiotic relationships between plants and animals, the delicate balance of the ecosystem, the cyclical rhythms of nature. Mischief, with its intuitive understanding of the forest, taught Robert valuable lessons about survival and adaptation. It showed him how to identify edible plants, how to track animals, how to navigate by the stars. Robert, his city slicker skills proving surprisingly adaptable, learned to build shelters, start fires, and forage for food. He felt a sense of empowerment, a connection to his primal instincts, a rediscovery of his own resilience. One day, as they explored a dense thicket, they stumbled upon a snare trap, its cruel jaws hidden beneath a layer of leaves. Mischief, with its keen senses, alerted Robert to the danger, preventing him from stepping into the trap. Robert, his heart pounding with gratitude, realized that Mischief had saved his life. He felt a surge of affection for the monkey, their bond strengthened by this shared experience of vulnerability and protection. He carefully dismantled the trap, his anger rising at the thought of poachers threatening the delicate balance of the forest. He vowed to protect the sanctuary, to defend the creatures that inhabited it, to become a guardian of the wild. Mischief, sensing Robert's determination, seemed to approve, its eyes filled with a knowing glint. It led Robert deeper into the forest, revealing hidden trails and secret clearings, sharing its intimate knowledge of the wilderness. Robert, his mind and body revitalized by the challenges and discoveries of the forest, felt a growing sense of peace and contentment. He realized that Mischief was not just a companion, but a teacher, a guide, a reflection of the wisdom and resilience of the natural world. He began to see the world through Mischief's eyes, appreciating the simple joys of existence, the beauty of the present moment, the interconnectedness of all living beings. He learned to let go of his anxieties, his worries about the future, his regrets about the past. He embraced the rhythm of the forest, the cyclical dance of life and death, the constant renewal of nature. He found solace in the silence of the trees, the music of the birds, the gentle caress of the wind. He realized that Mischief had not just taught him about the wilderness. It had taught him about himself, about the essence of his being, about the connection to the natural world that he had long forgotten. The forest became Robert's classroom, Mischief his playful yet insightful teacher. Each day brought new discoveries, new challenges, and new lessons in the art of living. Robert, once a creature of routine and predictability, embraced the spontaneity of the wild, his senses attuned to the ever-changing rhythms of nature. Mischief, with its boundless energy and mischievous spirit, led Robert on adventures that tested his physical and mental limits. They climbed towering trees, their laughter echoing through the canopy, their bonds strengthened by shared exhilaration. They swam in crystal-clear lakes, the cool water washing away the remnants of Robert's city stress, his body revitalized by the invigorating embrace of nature. They explored hidden caves, their flashlight beams illuminating ancient rock formations, their imaginations ignited by the mysteries of the earth. One day, as they ventured deeper into the wilderness, they encountered a raging river, its currents swollen by recent rains. Robert, hesitant to cross the treacherous waters, looked to Mischief for guidance. The monkey, with its innate understanding of the forest, led Robert to a fallen log, its sturdy trunk forming a natural bridge across the raging torrent. Mischief, with a mischievous grin, scampered across the log, its movements sure and confident. Robert, his heart pounding with a mix of fear and excitement, followed cautiously, his footsteps echoing on the damp wood. He felt a surge of adrenaline as he reached the middle of the log, the roaring water swirling beneath him. He looked back at Mischief, who sat patiently on the opposite bank, its eyes filled with encouragement. Robert took a deep breath, trusting in the monkey's guidance, his fear giving way to a sense of determination. He continued across the log, his steps growing steadier with each stride. He reached the opposite bank, his heart filled with a triumphant joy, his bond with Mischief strengthened by their shared adventure. They continued their exploration, their journey a dance of trust and mutual respect. Robert, once a solitary figure seeking escape, now embraced the companionship of the monkey, their shared experiences weaving a tapestry of connection and understanding. He learned to read Mischief's subtle cues, the tilt of its head, the flicker of its eyes, the nuances of its vocalizations. He discovered a language beyond words, a communication based on intuition and empathy. He realized that Mischief was not just a playful companion, but a mirror reflecting his own inner self, his own connection to the natural world, his own capacity for joy and wonder. He began to see the world through Mischief's eyes, appreciating the beauty of the present moment, the interconnectedness of all living beings, the delicate balance of the ecosystem. He learned to let go of his ego, his need to control, his fear of the unknown. He embraced the spontaneity of the wild, the unpredictable dance of life, the constant renewal of nature. He found peace in the silence of the forest, the music of the birds, the gentle caress of the wind. He discovered a sense of belonging, a connection to something larger than himself, a harmony within himself and the world around him. The tranquility of Robert's wilderness retreat was shattered one evening as a fierce storm descended upon the forest. The wind howled through the trees, the rain lashed against the cabin windows, and thunder boomed like a celestial drumbeat. Robert, his city-bred anxieties resurfacing, felt a sense of unease, a vulnerability he had not experienced since his arrival. He watched as the storm raged, the trees swaying violently, the river swelling with rainwater. Mischief, sensing Robert's apprehension, sought comfort in his presence. It huddled close to him, its fur damp and matted, its eyes filled with a mixture of fear and trust. Robert, his protective instincts awakened, wrapped his arms around Mischief, offering warmth and reassurance. He felt a surge of responsibility for the monkey, its vulnerability mirroring his own. As the storm intensified, a large tree branch crashed onto the roof of the cabin, creating a gaping hole. Rainwater poured in, soaking the furniture and threatening to collapse the structure. Robert, his heart pounding with fear, knew they had to seek shelter elsewhere. He grabbed his backpack, stuffing it with essential supplies, and guided Mischief out into the storm. They battled their way through the wind and rain, their vision obscured by the downpour, their footsteps slipping on the muddy ground. Robert, his city shoes proving inadequate for the treacherous terrain, stumbled and fell, his ankle twisting beneath him. He cried out in pain, his body sinking into the mud, his spirits dampened by the setback. Mischief, sensing Robert's distress, rushed to his side, its concerned eyes searching his face. Robert, his ankle throbbing, tried to stand, but the pain was too intense. He felt a wave of despair, his vulnerability amplified by the raging storm. Mischief, however, refused to give up. It scampered up a nearby tree, its agile movements defying the wind and rain. It returned moments later, carrying a long, sturdy vine in its mouth. It gently nudged the vine towards Robert, its eyes filled with encouragement. Robert, understanding the monkey's intentions, grasped the vine, using it as a support to pull himself up. With Mischief's assistance, he limped towards a nearby cave, its entrance hidden behind a curtain of cascading water. They huddled together within the cave, the roar of the storm muffled by the thick rock walls. Robert, his body shivering with cold and pain, felt a deep gratitude for Mischief's loyalty and resourcefulness. The monkey, despite its own fear, had remained by his side, offering support and guidance. As the storm raged outside, Robert and Mischief found solace in each other's presence, their bond strengthened by their shared vulnerability and their resilience in the face of adversity. The storm, a metaphor for the challenges of life, had revealed the depth of their connection, the unwavering support that existed between them. Robert, his heart filled with gratitude, realized that Mischief had not just taught him about the wilderness. It had taught him about friendship, loyalty, and the enduring power of connection in the face of life's storms. The storm raged throughout the night, its fury echoing through the forest. Robert and Mischief huddled together in the cave, their bodies pressed close for warmth, their breaths mingling in the damp air. Robert, his ankle throbbing, his mind racing with anxieties, struggled to find peace amidst the chaos. He worried about the damage to the cabin, the possibility of being stranded in the wilderness, the uncertainty of his return to the city. Mischief, sensing Robert's unease, snuggled closer, its soft fur brushing against his arm, its gentle purrs a soothing balm to his troubled mind. Robert, in turn, stroked Mischief's fur, finding comfort in the monkey's unwavering presence. As the hours passed, the storm gradually subsided, its fury replaced by a gentle patter of rain. The first rays of dawn filtered through the cave entrance, illuminating the damp walls and the two figures huddled together. Robert, his anxieties easing, felt a sense of gratitude for their shared survival, their bond strengthened by the ordeal. He looked at Mischief, its eyes sparkling with a mischievous glint, its spirit undeterred by the storm's fury. He realized that Mischief, despite its playful nature, possessed a profound resilience, an ability to adapt and thrive in the face of adversity. The monkey, a creature of the wild, embodied the essence of nature's resilience, its ability to weather storms and emerge stronger. Robert, inspired by Mischief's example, decided to embrace the present moment, to let go of his worries about the future, to find stillness amidst the chaos. He closed his eyes, focusing on his breath, his mind quieting, his body relaxing. He listened to the sounds of the forest awakening after the storm, the birds chirping, the leaves rustling, the water trickling down the cave walls. He felt the cool, damp air on his skin, the soft moss beneath his fingers, the warmth of Mischief's body pressed against his. He realized that the storm, despite its destructive power, had also brought a sense of clarity, a renewed appreciation for the simple joys of existence. He had faced his fears, confronted his vulnerabilities, and emerged with a deeper understanding of himself and his connection to the natural world. He opened his eyes, his gaze meeting Mischief's, a silent understanding passing between them. They ventured out of the cave, the forest bathed in the soft light of dawn, the air fresh and invigorating. They returned to the cabin, its roof partially collapsed, its interior damp and disheveled. But Robert, his perspective shifted, saw not the damage, but the resilience of the structure, its ability to withstand the storm's fury. He set about repairing the cabin, his city-bred skills proving surprisingly adaptable. Mischief, ever helpful, assisted in its own way, fetching tools, holding nails, and offering encouragement with its playful antics. As they worked together, Robert felt a sense of purpose, a connection to the land, a satisfaction in restoring order amidst the chaos. He realized that the storm had not just tested his resilience, it had also revealed his resourcefulness, his ability to adapt and overcome challenges. He looked at Mischief, its eyes sparkling with pride, its presence a constant reminder of the lessons he had learned in the wilderness. He knew that his journey was far from over, but he also knew that he had found something precious in the heart of the storm, a connection to the natural world, a friendship with a mischievous monkey, and a newfound peace within himself. The time came for Robert to return to the city, his sabbatical drawing to a close. He packed his bags, his heart heavy with the thought of leaving the tranquility of the forest and the companionship of mischief. He stood on the porch of the cabin, his gaze sweeping the familiar landscape, the trees swaying gently in the breeze, the river flowing serenely in the distance. He felt a pang of sadness, a longing to remain in this sanctuary, this haven of peace and connection. Mischief, sensing Robert's emotions, clung to his arm, its eyes filled with a mixture of sadness and understanding. Robert, his heart touched by the monkey's empathy, gently stroked its fur, a silent promise of future visits echoing in his mind. He bid farewell to Mischief, his footsteps heavy as he walked towards his car. He glanced back one last time. The monkey perched on a tree branch, its silhouette outlined against the setting sun, its presence a lingering reminder of the transformative journey he had undertaken. As he drove away from the cabin, the city lights gradually replacing the starry sky, Robert felt a sense of anticipation, a curiosity about how his experiences in the wilderness would translate to his urban existence. He returned to his apartment, its sterile coldness now amplified by his newfound appreciation for the warmth and vibrancy of nature. He looked around at the sleek furniture, the minimalist decor, the impersonal technology, and felt a sense of detachment. He unpacked his bags, the scent of pine needles and damp earth clinging to his clothes, a reminder of the forest's embrace. He placed the small, brightly colored flower that Mischief had given him in a vase, its delicate petals a symbol of the connection he had forged with the natural world. He returned to work, the once familiar routine now feeling alien and constricting. The endless meetings, the demanding deadlines, the superficial conversations, they all seemed trivial and meaningless in the light of his newfound perspective. He found himself drawn to the window, his gaze drifting towards the distant horizon, his mind wandering back to the tranquility of the forest, the companionship of Mischief, the lessons he had learned about living in the present moment, appreciating the simple joys of life, and finding contentment in nature's embrace. He began incorporating these lessons into his daily routine. He took walks in the park during his lunch break, his senses attuned to the rustling leaves, the chirping birds, the gentle breeze. He practiced mindfulness, focusing on his breath, quieting his mind, finding stillness amidst the city's chaos. He sought out opportunities to connect with nature, volunteering at a local community garden, planting trees, and educating others about the importance of environmental conservation. He became an advocate for animal welfare, supporting local shelters and promoting responsible pet ownership. His transformed perspective rippled through his relationships, his interactions with colleagues and friends now imbued with a newfound empathy and understanding. He listened more attentively, spoke more thoughtfully, and valued genuine connection over superficial interactions. He found himself drawn to people who shared his passion for nature, his circle of friends expanding to include artists, environmentalists, and animal lovers. He organized hikes and nature walks, sharing his newfound appreciation for the wilderness with those who sought a similar connection. His work, once a source of stress and pressure, now became an opportunity to make a positive impact. He incorporated sustainable practices into his business, advocating for environmental responsibility and ethical sourcing. He mentored young entrepreneurs, encouraging them to find a balance between success and personal well-being. Robert, the once driven businessman, had become a beacon of change, his transformation a testament to the power of nature to heal and inspire. He had found a harmony within himself, a connection to the natural world, and a purpose that extended beyond the confines of his urban existence. Robert's transformation extended beyond his personal life, his newfound passion for nature and animal welfare spilling over into the public sphere. He became an advocate for environmental conservation, his voice amplified by his experiences in the wilderness and his unique connection with mischief. He joined local conservation groups, participating in tree planting initiatives, organizing river cleanups, and educating the public about the importance of protecting natural habitats. He leveraged his business acumen to raise funds for conservation efforts, his persuasive presentations inspiring donations from corporations and individuals alike. He also became a vocal supporter of animal rights, speaking out against cruelty and exploitation, advocating for responsible pet ownership, and promoting the adoption of shelter animals. He volunteered at the local animal shelter, spending hours caring for abandoned creatures, his gentle touch and compassionate demeanor a soothing balm to their wounded spirits. He shared his story with local newspapers and community groups, his words resonating with those who sought a deeper connection with nature and a more compassionate approach to the animal world. He organized workshops and presentations, his audiences captivated by his tales of transformation and his insights into the wisdom of the wild. His message, however, extended beyond the confines of his city. He traveled to schools and universities, sharing his experiences with students, inspiring them to become stewards of the environment and advocates for animal welfare. He collaborated with filmmakers and documentarians. His story featured in documentaries and educational programs that reached a global audience. He even returned to the wilderness, his cabin retreat now a sanctuary for rescued animals, a place where they could heal and reconnect with their natural instincts. He worked with local communities to develop sustainable tourism practices, ensuring that the benefits of ecotourism were shared equitably and that the environment was protected for future generations. His efforts did not go unnoticed. He received awards and recognition for his contributions to conservation and animal welfare, his name becoming synonymous with a compassionate approach to the natural world. But for Robert, the true reward lay in the positive impact he was making, the ripple effect of his actions spreading far beyond his initial encounter with mischief. He had become a voice for the voiceless, a champion for the creatures that could not speak for themselves. He had found a purpose that transcended his personal ambitions, a calling that connected him to the very essence of life on Earth. Years passed, and Robert's hair turned silver, but his spirit remained youthful, his eyes reflecting the wisdom and serenity he had cultivated through his connection with nature. He continued to be a beacon of compassion, his life a testament to the transformative power of the human-animal bond. He divided his time between the city and his wilderness retreat, his presence in both worlds a harmonious blend of urban sophistication and natural simplicity. He maintained his successful business, but his approach had shifted, his leadership now guided by principles of sustainability and ethical responsibility. His city apartment, once a sterile haven of modern convenience, now reflected his love for nature. Plants adorned every corner, their vibrant green leaves bringing a touch of the forest indoors. Paintings and photographs of wildlife adorned the walls, reminders of the beauty and diversity of the natural world. His cabin retreat, expanded and renovated, had become a sanctuary for rescued animals, a place where they could heal and thrive in their natural habitat. He worked with local communities to develop educational programs, sharing his knowledge of wildlife and inspiring a new generation of conservationists. He continued to visit Mischief and the Monkey Troop, their bond deepened by years of shared experiences and mutual respect. He would often sit among them, observing their playful interactions, his heart filled with gratitude for the lessons they had taught him. One day, as he sat beneath a canopy of trees, Mischief approached him, a small, wrinkled hand reaching out to touch his face. Robert, his eyes filled with affection, gently grasped the monkey's hand, their connection a silent testament to the enduring power of friendship. He looked around at the vibrant forest, the sunlight filtering through the leaves, the birds singing their melodious songs. He felt a profound sense of peace, a harmony within himself and the world around him. He realized that his journey had come full circle. He had started as a man seeking escape from the city's clamor, his heart burdened by the pressures of modern life. He had found solace in the wilderness, a connection to the natural world, and a friendship with a mischievous monkey that had changed the course of his life. He had returned to the city transformed, his perspective shifted, his values redefined, his purpose aligned with the rhythms of nature. He had become a beacon of compassion, a voice for the voiceless, a guardian of the planet's precious creatures. His legacy extended beyond his individual transformation. He had inspired countless others to seek connection with nature, to appreciate the wisdom of the animal world, and to find harmony within themselves and the world around them. His story, a testament to the enduring power of the human-animal bond, echoed through the forest, a symphony of hope, a reminder that even in the midst of chaos and complexity, peace and connection could be found in the embrace of the wild.